people are giggling. Yeah, I see you in the back, Matt. Just a thing called dimensional analysis, and I mentioned that I screwed this up this year. Basically, dimensional analysis means pay attention to your units. Didn't, oopsie. So why is it important? Here's an example. You're traveling 30 kilometers an hour. If you travel for 30 minutes, how far have you gone? Well, basic distance velocity times time. So 30 times 30 equals 900. And then pay attention to the units, kilometers, minutes per, what? Yeah. That doesn't make sense. Hell no. We do this right. You got to convert the minutes to hours, so we got everything in the same units. And then once you do that, then you get that you're going 15 kilometers per hour. So it's actually a great thing to be able to pay attention to your units. And it saves your butt. I've heard that even if you walk in on ACT, SAT, and you don't know any of the equations or know how to do anything, if you just pay attention to your units, you can do really, really well. I did know my equations and stuff, so I didn't need to do this, but it's actually a pretty good trick in upper-level physics classes, too. I know you know this.
Yes.
So, yeah, good trick. And for that reason, there is one anime I will never forgive. I'm sorry I don't have sound for this one. It didn't rip right, but I'll dub it. Yeah! It's and that's the end of my panel. Alright, so questions?
So, the lighting deadly objects on fire. What would happen if you did the alcohol on a bat and then hit a baseball with it?
It would probably all spray off and you would not have a flame baseball. The way things catch on fire is they have to absorb enough energy, like I was saying, to be able to start burning, give off energy through the reaction of something breaking down, and then that energy from that sustains the reaction. If you hit a baseball, it happens in a tiny fraction of a second. You're not going to transfer enough energy for that to light the baseball on fire. Plus, baseballs are kind of leathery, and leather doesn't burn too well. Other questions?
What college do you teach at?
I don't. I mean, teach high
school do you teach?
It's a tiny, private little Jewish high school. It's been in existence for 3 years, called the Missouri Torah Institute. I have little Judans. But I'm going to Jew hell. Oh wait, there's a Yeah.
Do you ever use any of these examples to help teach them science?
My kids aren't allowed to use the internet even. Orthodox Jewish high school, so me bringing in something like this would not be appreciated. I have a really cool experiment I like to do where you can measure the speed of light with chocolate and a microwave, but chocolate's not usually kosher. And if I put anything that's dairy in any kind of cooking thing, they can't use it for anything not dairy. Oh, it's just a headache. I just teach from the book.
Yeah.
Yes, don't. Yes, don't. Oh, I forgot that. I didn't know if I was going to actually be able to find a ruler, but this is a demonstration. Going back to the spike thing, I wanted to show just how powerful atmospheric pressure really is. This was a demonstration I first saw in high school. I'm going to kind of try to angle this way in case it does go flying. Breaking a ruler with one hand is kind of tricky if I just leave it here, because even if I hit it, it just flips. So, how can I break this thing? It was actually really hard for me to find a wooden thing. Every time I went to the hardware store, all they had was metal. Metal. I would be more than happy to hit metal, but it ain't gonna break. So we're gonna try to increase the amount of atmospheric pressure on here, and not even that much. We're just gonna take some newspaper, put this on here, try to get this evened out a little bit so the atmosphere is pressing down on this pretty well. And we all know the newspaper doesn't weigh much, so holding this down, what's holding the other end of this ruler down now is atmospheric pressure, so, oh man.
Need more paper.
This one is really springy, so it's going to be able to absorb a lot of force.
At least you have a flag.
Yeah.
Just put the whole paper on it.
That and this paper still has a lot of creases in it, so it's not sticking down, and air can get under there, which pushes atmospheric pressure back up, and it doesn't balance right. So there's a lot of problems with this. Oh, look, I broke it! So that's the idea of that demonstration is that atmospheric pressure, just increasing it enough to be able to hold down this newspaper, should be enough for me to snap a ruler. It obviously was. You all saw. So atmospheric pressure is pretty strong, and that's why it's suddenly leaving your lungs is not such a good thing. Any other questions? Yeah.
Yeah, what made you decide to do a panel like this here?
I watch anime, and I said this more in detail last year, but anime and all other forms of media are based on the idea that you can have a suspension of disbelief, which basically means you know it's fake, but you don't care because it's cool. And for normal people, you won't even know it's fake, so it gets away with it, but reality is ruined me. I look at these things and go, no! Especially that pension one. I looked at that and just went, no! And I had actually seen that before in shows like Heroes. And Heroes is even worse. They're watching the eclipse from other sides of the Earth, and as you saw in that diagram, you can only see it from that one little part of the show. No! All of these things. Reality is ruined. I feel like Topher Brinks right now.
They've
I
killed
sound
their
like it
version
too,
of
because I'm
reality.
losing my voice from all the lectures and cosplay and stuff. Yes?
Do you enjoy the changing of dimensions all through the different animes on like buildings and swords and etc.?
I try not to look at that one. Freudian. Other questions? How are we doing on time? I've got a whole 10 minutes. I can pull my panel from last year and do one more.